This ESPN podcast is brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com.
The BS Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects. The BS Report. The BS Report with Bill Simmons.
We're here in New Orleans with Roy Hibbert, the best defensive center in basketball. I wish we had more than 12, 13 minutes because I think you're an interesting guy.
Thank you.
I read the Sports Illustrated piece this week by Lee Jenkins.
Yeah.
And it was about, a big piece of it was about your verticality and that whole thing and how you had that epiphany. Who were you watching when that happened?
I saw Dwight do it once against the Lakers, I think, during the playoffs. I forgot what year.
Yeah.
And I said, I always, first year in the league, try to block everything. And I foul out. I averaged the most fouls per minute, so that was a good stat. Second year, I said, I'm going to try to take charges, and they wouldn't give it to me, and it started hurting my back. So that summer, I started working on jumping straight up after I saw Dwight do that.
And it took like a couple of years to master it, right?
Because, at first, the referees, some referees would be like, hey, that was a good, up and down, and it took a while for them to really see that, I'm not jumping forward, I'm jumping straight up. And they're honest with me. They tell me I'm jumping from A to B, and that's a foul. So I had to figure out a way to stay on the court. So,
And so Vogel's doing drills just over and over again every day to teach you how to slide over and just jump up straight.
Well, the thing is, from the article that was written, it was a drill at the end of the workout, and I had to get 3 stops in a row. And the thing was to learn in my head when to do the straight up. And I'll demonstrate, not demonstrate, but when somebody's attacking the basket and they serve it up, I can go for the block. If they have it tucked like LeBron does a lot of the time, you try to block it, they're going to call a foul on you. So when I see the ball tucked, you have to go straight up.
Now, I read this, and I thought he shouldn't have spilled that secret. Because now LeBron's going to do this, but then he'll switch it on you. So now you're going to have to come up with a chess move on the chess move.
Well, I just think about percentages. Like him changing it up like that will probably be a little bit...
Knock him off balance.
Knock him off balance a little bit, or it's a lower percentage shot, than him, doing what he has been doing. So I mean, the game is evolving. I'm just going to have to evolve as well.
It's interesting. So Portland tried to sign you 2 summers ago.
Yeah.
You signed, big contract.
Yeah.
You start out slow.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, Roy Hibbert, ugh.
Yeah.
And then, boom, you took off.
Yeah.
And the team took off, and all these stats start coming out because people understand basketball better with the advanced metrics, and they're like, actually, when he's on the floor, it's really hard for everybody else to score.
Yeah.
And then the narrative flips. You go to the Eastern Finals.
Yeah.
You come out in that one game, that becomes a big deal. Like, I can't remember somebody's storyline flipping in 4 months. It was like everybody appreciated all the little stuff you do all of a sudden. Could you sense that?
I mean, when you talk about such a tremendous player like LeBron, just trying to stop him one-on-one, you can't do it. But for me to protect the rim, David West and myself take pride in when we see the Heat play against teams and seeing LeBron score in the half court, we're like, he doesn't do that. Like dunks, open dunks in the half court in the set defense, we take pride in knowing that he doesn't get that type of stuff.
Right.
And obviously he's at the top of the mountain in terms of NBA right now, and right now we're coming for him, and our defense, I think, is going to really help us put us over the edge.
Did you think Paul George was going to be this good?
Oh yeah, I knew it.
Really? Even when he was young?
Yeah, I always told him, he had a chance. I even told him, hey, you could have a chance to be MVP this year, and you can get that even more bucks in your contract. If
because you get those little thingies.
But you don't want to roll the dice, and he has a good agent, and he told him, obviously told him the right thing. So I knew from the beginning he was going to be a tremendous player. I don't understand.
Give me a reason. How did you know?
First of all, his athleticism. He's worked on the court, off the court. I mean, in the weight room, he lifts before every game. He actually, he talks to LeBron and picks things out from him, I guess, and he takes it back into his game. So he's not one of those types that I'm too good to listen or anything like that. He plays both ends of the court. Last year he had to guard Josh Smith, Carmelo, D Wade and LeBron, and he didn't once complain about it. You know, some guys I know say, "Hey, switch." He wants that. He wants that challenge. And when you have somebody that brings it on both ends of the court, you have to respect him. And if he misses a game winner, you know he tried his hardest on the other end, and you're okay with that.
Well, let's be honest. You didn't expect this from Lance Stevenson. Come on.
Lance was tough. When he first got here, he was probably one of the worst rookies. Like, he didn't want to do anything. He was a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But he always had the talent. He's never got his chance. And I think the biggest thing for him was when Leandro Barbosa didn't re-sign with us, and he got his chance to play. And obviously, when Danny Granger was recovering, he got a chance to play, and I'm really happy for him.
Did you expect that you guys would be running large parts of your offense through Lance Stevenson?
Well, it's nice because he comes out first. Coach gives him the first 6 minutes of the game, comes out early. He starts the second quarter with the second unit, and that's his group. So he's able to push the ball, play bully ball, and, you know, he does his, you know, Harlem Globetrotter type stuff, you know. So, I mean, he gets a chance to really show what he can do. He makes behind the back passes, really good stuff. And you just take the good and the bad with Lance sometimes, and I feel like, you know, he should be most improved.
You have a couple moments probably per month where it's like, oh, no, Lance, no, don't do that. Oh, God, no, stop it. And then it somehow works out half the time for him.
He does, and I'm on the bench sometimes yelling at him to pass the ball, move the ball. He's isoing for the full 20 seconds, and then he'll bully somebody to the basket, and he'll point at me and be like, "Big dog, you shut up," all right? And I was gonna be like, "Hey," you know. So, but no, we have that type of relationship, and I really feel like he should have been an all-star.
Is it fair to say that you guys, it's like this team made of people, or the core of the team is all people who were either discounted, they fell too far in the draft, people didn't believe in them? It seems like that's your whole team.
Yeah, I mean, we played a chip on our shoulder. Obviously, George Hill, 25th pick in the draft.
Then got traded.
You know, he was on a good San Antonio team. Lance, who was a second-round pick. Paul, a lottery pick, but I can't believe certain guys went ahead of him. And
he probably remembers all the guys, right?
We talk about that stuff before every game. And he said, we're going to go at such and such on the Lakers, or we're going to go at such and such, on this team or whatever like that. He went ahead of them.
Yeah.
David West felt like, he was, people took money out of his pocket, in the draft, and where he went, and myself being 17th pick, I said, Joe Alexander going ahead of me in the draft, so.
That was stupid. I remember as you were falling being like, because I had watched you in Georgetown, and it was like, you're a project, but you had like a little offensive game that at least you were going to be a backup center, worst case scenario.
Yeah, they always, I seriously going to Georgetown, staying for 4 years, and, obviously losing to Stephen Curry in the NCAA tournament, you learn a lot about yourself, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Georgetown. And I always said in my mind, I want to be an all-star and show that 4-year guys in the NBA can still be, good players, as opposed to those just being a one-and-done guy.
Let's say you're a one-and-done guy. Where are you right now?
Over in Europe. If I left
You're
after
in Greece or somewhere.
in Greece, If I left after my freshman year, I wouldn't have gotten drafted. I probably couldn't deal with being in the D League or traveling on by bus like that, and I'd probably be over somewhere in Europe. So.
You guys have the best opposing field goal percentage in 10 years. I think since the 04 Pistons.
Yeah.
And the 04 Pistons are really the comparison. Like, that's the blueprint. It's this team made up of dudes, great defense, interior defense, and then overachieving basically, which seems like what, that's your destiny possibly.
Yeah, I mean, our defense is always set on, I take care of the middle so our guards can pressure up on the outside and shoot long contested twos. And they say, our stat guys say, that's the lowest percentage shot in the NBA is long contested twos. And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to get this straight up in the paint and, get the stop.
Have you worked up a healthy enough hatred for Miami yet? Because you got to hate them in the finals.
No, I mean, to tell you the truth, I have nothing against Chris, LeBron, D Wade. I love Birdman. Whenever he checks in the game, I'm always like, Birdman. So, I have nothing against those guys. This is competition. And, it's I don't hate them. You know, I want to beat those guys so bad.
Right.
You know, they talking about three-peating. No, we're gonna stop that. But yeah.
It's a nice rivalry.
It is a rivalry.
We're going to be there.
Yeah.
We're traveling for Countdown for the Eastern Finals,
Nice.
and I'm assuming it's going to be Naptown and South Beach.
Yeah.
It's like basically the greatest 2 weeks of Jalen Rose's life. I don't know if he's going to make it to the finals.
No, Jalen's a real good guy. I had spent some time with him over in
The Philippines, yeah.
Philippines. The nicest guy ever, man. I was really nervous to go up to him and talk to him. Just him being Jalen.
Give me your best Larry Bird story.
I was a rookie coming in on the practice court about to work out. Sean Williams, who plays for the Lakers now, he was a draft pick. He went up to Larry's walking onto the practice court. Sean Williams runs up to him and starts going like, Jordan, he was just, in between the legs. He was like, remember when MJ gave you 30 points or whatever like that? And then Larry just said, I can outshoot you right now. And Larry in dress shoes just outshot.
Outshot Sean Williams?
Sean Williams, yeah. So, yeah.
Wearing dress shoes?
Dress shoes.
It's a good Larry Bird story.
Yeah.
Ray Hibbert, I hope to see you in Naptown for the Eastern Finals.
I got you. And,
we'll have some shrimp cocktail at the St. Elmo's.
Yeah, it'll clear out your sinuses.
Good luck with everything. I'd like to get you in L.A. We should do a longer version of this. You're a good interviewer. I enjoyed this.
No, I speak from the heart,
You weren't taping me with this phone, were you?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, good. All right, good luck.
Got you. Get some free stuff while you're here, man.
Here from New Orleans with Kevin Durant. He's a busy man. We only have him for 9.5 minutes. How are you?
I'm doing well, man.
You played last night?
Yes. I'm running on fumes right now.
You're running on fumes?
Yeah.
Just in general or just from last night?
Just in general. I had 2 hours of sleep.
A rough season.
Yeah. I'll take it, though.
You're having a good season.
I'm doing all right.
When does Russell come back?
Next game, right after All-Star break against Miami.
When he went down, what was your reaction? You're like, oh, my God.
Yeah, I felt bad for him. He had just came back and was playing well. And to have another surgery, I was feeling for him. But guys have to step up, and he did a great job as another coach on the bench for us as well. So I'm excited to have him on the floor, though. What
changed with you where you were the second best player in the league heading into the season, and then something snapped like right around the holidays, and all of a sudden you're playing out of your mind game after game after game. What was different? Nothing?
Nothing.
So what do you think it was?
No.
You just got hot?
I was just playing my game, to be honest. Nothing changed for me. My mindset didn't change. My preparation, my focus, everything stayed the same.
Feel more comfortable with your teammates, maybe?
I always felt comfortable with them.
There's got to be something. No speech? Nobody in your life gave you an inspirational speech?
No. It's basketball, man.
You didn't watch a movie like at 3 in the morning and get fired up?
Nope. I just played. Just went out there and played.
You seem, I don't want to say you're icy this season, but there's definitely, I don't know, there's a hyper focus with you this year that seems a little different. Like you're tired of.
What was it years before? It wasn't.
Yeah, you were happy.
Okay.
I mean, definitely taking these little steps. But now it just seems like you just want to win the title. That's it. That's all you're thinking about.
I always just wanted to win the title.
So what's different? Why do you seem different then?
Nothing's different.
So I'm imagining everything?
Yep.
What about you versus LeBron? This seems like it's becoming a thing.
We played them one time. We had 55 games. So we played them one time. So it's not me versus LeBron at all.
So it's the media?
Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah.
But you had to notice the MVP stuff started with all of a sudden people like me, we have to have debates on shows to fill time.
That's your job. You have to do it. I understand that. But I try not to get into that because the only thing I can control is how I play and how I approach the game every single day. And I let the rest take care of itself.
How has that approach changed this season compared to other seasons? Or is it the same?
It hasn't.
Nothing? Like you don't study? I know you're into the stats and shot locations, stuff like that.
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
I just let it fly.
Really? Do you think you're overthinking it before?
You can say that.
Yeah?
You can say that. I've learned the game on a different level, I think, mentally, how I should approach every single game. It's different games. Every game is different for me. It might be a game where, guys are trapping me, I got to make the pass, or guys are just let me play one-on-one, and got to do what I do best, which is put the ball in the basket. So, each and every game is different for me.
The one thing I feel like seems different about you is just how you've just gotten better. Just, I think, for all the games you've played on, setting up teammates, kind of knowing when the defense is shifting over to you too much and when to hit guys.
Yeah, I've been learning a lot in that area. I still telegraph my passes and predetermine things, but that's a part of my growth. And my coaches do a great job of just getting on me when I mess up, and I just learn from my mistakes. But I think I've grown in that area. I just got to keep making steps.
The West is much better than the East, and now you guys are in a stretch where you guys have to play all these Western teams over and over again, and it's almost like every night you're playing a potential playoff opponent. What's your favorite team to play against out of all the contenders? Because it looks like it's Golden State. Every time you guys play, it's just an awesome game.
I think we're done with Golden State, but every team is fun for me.
Yeah? You don't have one special one? You're like, oh, these guys tonight.
No, because every game is tough, especially in our conference, especially in our division. It's always tough. I'm glad we're done with Portland. I'm pretty glad we're done with them. They're a tough matchup.
You said you didn't like them.
I don't like any team.
But you said you definitely didn't like Portland.
Yeah, I did. But
they didn't draft you. That had to be.
No, that's not it. I don't like. I mean, I'm not out there to just be buddy or talk with guys during the game. I respect every player in this league, and I'm sure if I seen a guy walking in the hallway, we'll talk. But in the game, it's just like, somebody's trying to rip my head off. I got to do it before they do it to me.
How important is the 1 seed? Is that something you guys are focused on, or you're just taking it game by game?
No, we're just taking it game by game, trying to build our habits and focus just on us. And if that happens to, we happen to be the number 1 seed at the end of the season, well, so be it. But we're just trying to focus on building our habits every single day on offense and defense, and keep getting better.
Is it fair to say, like, when Russell misses all this time, in a weird way, it's actually the one benefit would be, like, Reggie Jackson gets bigger minutes, more responsibility. Jeremy Lamb's got to make, like, you need those young guys to come through for you in the spring. So in a weird way, that's not the worst thing in the world.
It was like a blessing in disguise. Those guys were growing at a rapid pace when Russell was playing. I think Reggie and Jeremy and Perry Jones and Steven Adams, those guys were growing. But I think they had to grow up a little quicker when Russ went out. And Reggie did a great job for us. Lambeau did a great job. And that's all we can ask for them, just come out and play hard every single night, and that's what they've been doing.
Did you think Reggie Jackson was going to be this good?
I didn't know who Reggie Jackson was when we drafted him. I didn't see him play. But once the first day of pickup, I realized he was the real deal.
What is it about Steven Adams that he just seems to annoy other teams?
Just the first day of practice, he just, somebody got frustrated. He just told him, basically just hit me. He said, just hit me. If you want to get your frustration out, just hit me. I like taking a physical beating, and that's what he does. And he just runs down and just seals in the paint, throws bows. He's a Kiwi.
He's almost like a hockey player. He's one of those guys that he starts it, and then the other guy's furious, but the ref only sees the part when the other guy's getting mad at him, and he's just kind of sitting there like innocent. Yeah,
there's plenty of times where we all got on him because he just do something so obvious and dumb at the same time, but we know he doesn't mean anything by it. I mean, he might get offensive foul or tech, or but he just trying to do whatever he can for the team to win, and I love a guy like that.
Derek Fisher has been playing really well, and I think he's older than I am. What's going on with that?
Derek Fisher puts in a lot of work. I've been with him at late nights working on our jump shots, just going over different situations, and he puts in the time, and he's a gamer. And everybody knows that. Everybody in the world. He's been doing it for 85 years in this league, and we understand that, those big moments he's going to come through for us.
You buy that whole, the veteran leadership thing. You didn't have it the first couple years of your career, really. Now you have these older guys that kind of know the ropes. Yeah. Are you a believer in that whole thing?
Most definitely. Kevin Ollie was a game changer for us. He changed the whole culture, I think. He might not say it, but I think he changed the whole culture in Oklahoma City. Just his mindset, professionalism, every single day. And we all watched that, and we all wanted to be like that, and it rubbed off on Russell, myself, Jeff Green, James Harden. It and then everybody who comes through now, it's a standard that you got to live up to as a Thunder player. And I started with Kevin Ollie.
Are you okay with the Slim Reaper nickname?
You can call me the servant.
The servant?
Yeah.
What is that?
I'm a servant. Just like to serve everybody, my teammates, ushers at the game, fans.
The servant. Everybody. Interesting. That would make a good poster.
I thought of that last night.
Jalen was trying to get Iceberg Slim going for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't work, right? Yeah. He's been trying on TV
Yeah,
over
he's
and
been
over
trying.
again.
I mean, that's clever, but I like the servant. I know it's kind of weird to make your own nicknames up, but I like that one better.
I think that's what should happen. I think everybody should make their own nickname. Why shouldn't you have control of your own nickname?
That is true, but isn't that like a little arrogant?
The Slim Reaper's pretty good.
That was cool.
It's pretty good.
I seen the picture. It was pretty cool, but it looked a little too dark for me.
The thing is, you got the KD initials. I mean, people just call you KD. You probably don't even need a nickname.
That's just like classic, like AI, like KG.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Well, hopefully after June it'll be champ.
We'll see.
Then you won't need a nickname.
We'll see.
I will see you in the finals, probably. Maybe.
I hope so.
Knock on wood. It'll be fun. Good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll be back in New Orleans with more BS reports later in the day. We're back in New Orleans here. We have a finals MVP, Dirk Nowitzki. How are you?
Great memory. Thanks for bringing it up.
You're so much calmer since you won the title. You just seem so happy, even like all these years later. You're just...
Yeah, I mean, that was one major thing I always wanted to do, and I kept fighting, and every year you fall short, and then it gets, closer towards the end of the career, and you're like, oh, I want to win this so bad, and in 2011 everything came together. The team fit together, the chemistry was great. We had a bunch of great veterans, and that was the year. Now
you're 35. You're gonna be 36. You're still cranking along. Still as efficient as ever. What keeps driving you at this point?
Well, the last 2 years were a little disappointing for me. I said it all along. The lockout year right after we won was tough. I started having knee swellings. And then last year, the surgery right in front of the season, and then I missed like 30 games. Really disappointing. We didn't make the playoffs. So I just wanted to get back to winning ways, playing some good basketball again. Hopefully being a playoff franchise again, that means a lot to us. We had like 10 or 11 or 12 in a row. And that's where we want to get back. And, I did a lot of work this summer. I wanted to get back to playing well again and pushing off, making some moves that I couldn't make the last 2 years. And so I've been in the gym ever since, and it started in May already. It started lifting and running, and I think it's paying off for me.
How's your body? Walk me through your body situation right now. What hurts?
It's not bad. Sometimes you get up, it's a little
creaky?
Yeah, a little creaky here and there. But usually I thought, I rolled my ankles a ton when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I figured if something's going to cut my career short, it's going to be my ankles. I had tons of bone spurs and stuff. I even had surgery on one, like my 4th or 5th year. And I figured it'll be way worse. But I'm still trucking along. I think your work as you get older goes a little different. I think when you're in the 20s, you shoot tons of shots, you do athletic stuff, and now it's a lot of maintenance stuff. You do a lot of more weightlifting during the season, but light stuff, keep the pressure on the legs, keep them strong. So I don't jump and run as much anymore and practice as much anymore as I used to. Get tons of shots up in the summer. That has changed a little bit. So I think you work a little different. You still have the same workload or even more, but you work a little different. So body is holding up.
So you're worried about the legs are the most important thing, keeping them fresh, keeping them...
Yeah, I mean,
weird stuff happening.
We had a lot of games there from like Christmas to middle of January, so that was, and I still play over 30 minutes a night, so there was a stretch where I was a little tired, and then they rested me for one night, which we really haven't done much, so that was a weird situation for me, but... Yeah, I mean, other than that, I feel fine. We don't. Coach Carlin knows we have a couple veterans. Vince is almost 37 now, and Trix is my age. So I think we're trying to find a good way of still getting some practice minutes in with the younger guys, but also getting the older guys some rest.
How are teams defending you these days? That's different than, say, when you were with Nash.
Well, we got a great pick and roll player now with Monte again. He's so explosive. He's been a great playmaker for us, and all I really try to do is set a screen for him, and he uses his speed.
Yeah, sometimes you're a decoy.
I'm a decoy. I actually, a couple of weeks ago, when I didn't feel well, I didn't move well, and I had a bad shooting night, I told the guys afterwards that I was the most expensive decoy in the league. So, yeah, but no, he's been great. And sometimes I still get my ISO, get my post-ups, mainly on the left or right block there from like 14, 15 feet. That's where I still do some of the damage if I do get the ISO. We got away from some of the high post ISO I used to run a couple years ago because I just don't have that drive off my legs to go to the basket anymore. So it's more post-ups.
You still have the foul line post-up game, though, which is like...
Not as much as we used to go to it all the time. We
you
used
can
to go
still
to
do
all
it, though.
Yeah, I mean, once in a while I'll pick my spots. But
Yeah.
that's not something we do all the time anymore. But Monte off the pick and roll it's been lethal for us. He gets in the paint, finds our shooters, and he's been great for me, too, because somebody constantly drives and collapses the defense and gives me tons of open looks.
You're a free agent after this year. Your big contract ends, and in one of the worst contract leverage jobs ever, you basically said, "Yeah, I'm staying in Dallas. There's no way I'm going anywhere else." Did you follow what happened with Kobe Bryant, where he got a huge extension for a lot of money that hurt their cap, and then he's like, "I'm Kobe Bryant. I'm not taking a pay cut. I bring in a ton of money for this team. I've been the face of the franchise. Why should I take a pay cut? We just had this lockout. All these owners made all this money. I'm not taking a pay cut. They should take a pay cut." What did you think of that?
I obviously followed the situation, and he's right. He is Kobe Bryant, and their TV deal they have there in LA is so crazy anyway. So
right.
they can afford it. I think we're in a different situation, obviously in Dallas, and. Yeah, I think it's fair to say that I will take a pay cut.
Right. Because Duncan did it too, right?
Yeah, Duncan, I think KG did it at my age when they resigned. So we'll just have to wait and see. Honestly, I try not to think about it this much. That's why I even haven't extended or anything. I wanted to play the season out. I wanted to get back in the playoffs and hopefully have a good run. And then we have plenty of time to talk to Mark, and obviously we'll figure something out. But that's not really something I daily think about. What
would you rank as more important, just retiring as a Maverick or winning another title?
Well, the ultimate will be both.
Right.
But, I can't really see myself playing anywhere else. I said it all the time. It wouldn't even feel right to put on another jersey somewhere else or live somewhere else. I've been in Dallas my entire career. It's my 16th season. So it wouldn't even feel right. So I'm sure we'll find a nice little agreement for both sides where we can have a good team for the following years, and where I feel still I can play and feel respected, and we'll go from there.
I think there's something special and underrated about retiring with the team that drafted you. And I think, I don't know if you followed when Pierce and Garnett came back to Boston a couple weeks ago, and the outpouring of love for Pierce. And like I'm a Celtics fan, obviously every Celtic fan was just kind of sad that he felt like he should have retired with us, and that I don't like seeing him on another team. We watched him grow up. He showed up. He was 21, went through all these ups and downs. We won a title with him.
I agree.
It doesn't feel right. It was a great trade, but it doesn't feel right.
But I think Boston made it clear they went a different direction here this year, and they wanted to rebuild, I think, and so he kind of had to make this move if he didn't want to go through the rebuilding process.
I think he probably wanted the trade too, but now I think that he's in a different situation, and it's like, I think he probably feels like he's a Celtic, and he's like, now I'm playing for, you feel like a hired gun, But if you hadn't won a title, going into this contract, you might be thinking about that,
Yeah, this might be a whole different issue, I always wanted, that's something that I felt like I needed on my resume, and yeah, maybe the free agency would be a lot different then I would think about some other moves. But really now,
now you're there
to think about.
Do you think about how long your career could be potentially here? Because as you said, you were 98 draft, so this is 16 years, but you're only 35. You're this first wave of these dudes that came into the league 18, 19. Back in the day when somebody played 16 years, they were like 40, and you have a chance to play 21, 22, 23 years potentially.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll go there.
You could do the Sam Perkins. You could just stand behind the three-point line and just shoot threes.
Yeah, I don't think
the
shooting will be the problem. It's the in-between, the running back,
You just run from. Tell them you're just running from 3-point line to 3-point line.
The showing, on the pick and roll. Half of the league now, or most of the league now, it's a pick and roll game. So the bigs have to run around like crazy to show or get all these coverages, and it's going to be that stuff. The transition back and forth.
So you thought about this?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just see how long it's still fun. Quite honest. If I get up in the morning and say, hey, I got to go to work, then I'd rather retire, because that's not. I never looked at basketball as work. I always enjoyed it. It's my hobby. I love it. And once that love is gone, and I'm tired of working out every day and doing all the stuff to get me ready for the games, and I'm tired of lifting and doing and conditioning on all that other stuff around it, and rather stay in bed, then I think it's time to go.
Watch the TV.
Yeah, then it's time to go.
I mean, it would be nice to just be in the corners, like Durant's has 3 guys on him creating a shot, and you're on whatever team, and just, I'm going to be over here, I'm going to make threes, you do all the work.
Yeah, I think I can always shoot threes. I think I can shoot threes when I'm 60, but it's all the other stuff to get you going. That's going to be the problem.
We did on Grantland.com, we posted yesterday a big video with Nash.
I saw a minute of it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I had kind of crazy day yesterday.
It's basically about him trying to figure out if he has anything left in the tank, and that point athletes go through when they think they can do it, but they don't know, and they don't know if they're in denial, and he's way deep inside his own head. Have you been following like his last 2 years? I know you guys are close.
Yeah, we text once in a while, and then when we do play each other, we try to meet and have some dinners and stuff. And I mean, it's been tough for him. It started obviously when he broke his leg last year at the beginning of the season, and then it's been downhill ever since with his health. And I feel bad for him. I think he still wants to play. I think he still can do it if his body responds the right way. But I think it's mostly tough mentally if you're that age and you keep pushing yourself in rehab and nothing seems to change, and then you practice once or twice and it gets worse. You start back to where you started, and that's it's really tough mentally. But he's been still working at it. He's seen his chiropractors and stuff, and so hopefully he'll play another season here and finish the season out and maybe play another one.
You belong to this different generation with him and Kobe and Pierce and KG and all the guys that were drafted in the 90s, and now you have this new generation with Durant, LeBron, Paul George, all these guys in their 20s. Is there a team that you just enjoy playing against? Like, is there one guy where you're like, we get to play this guy tonight, I'm excited?
I mean, in the West, really, there's every night there's a new challenge. I mean, the power forward spot is loaded. I feel like every night I have to bring my best, and I have to show some young guy I can still halfway do it. So, every night there's fun challenges, but I mean, we like playing, the Houstons and San Antonios and the OKC, the teams that are around, and those are always fun games. Our fans seem to rally around it, and when we play in Houston, we have tons of fans down there, and when they come, they have tons of fans in our building. So I think those are so far been the most fun games.
Who's the best player you've played against in 16 years? Who's on the other team where you're just like, that guy's unbelievable?
I mean, it's got to be Kobe.
Really?
Yeah, got to be Kobe. I mean, I've seen him do some stuff. That's unbelievable. He gave us actually, I think it was 61 or 62 that one.
Oh, yeah.
That one game
he came out in like
three quarters.
Third.
He didn't play the fourth. He might have had 62, and we as a team had 61.
Wow.
And their team had like 80-something, so they were up 20 on us, and he didn't come back in the fourth. And they actually were mad. He was mad. He thought he could have gone for 80, and then 2 weeks later.
Then he did it, yeah.
Or 3 weeks later against Toronto, he actually did it. But he probably could have done it that night. I mean, he was insanely hot. I mean, in transition, we'd have 4 guys back. He'd dribble up, cross them over, throw some floater up. I mean, he was insanely hot. He could have probably gone for 80 that night.
Who's the player that you've played against that you were the most jealous of, like you wish you could have played one season with them?
I always told Tim Duncan that I wish I had his post moves. We're pretty close, even though we were rivals basically my whole career, but I really like him. He's just as laid back as I am, and every time I see him at the All-Star game, we always have some fun. And I always told him if I would have his footwork, his strong legs, his jump hooks, I'd be tough to guard.
So you would have enjoyed playing with him?
Yeah, I mean, with him, and enjoyed playing against him because he's a power forward. If you consider him a power forward, he's probably the greatest of all time. Just the defense, the passing, the block shots.
Are we sure he's not a center?
I mean, he started off as a power forward.
Right.
He's as mobile as a power forward, but you know how the league, evolved over the last decade or whatever. Now it's more small balls than ever. I mean, all the fours used to be big and back to the basket type players, and now that's more the five. Even the five can run and jump and move now and even shoot a little bit, and the fours are basically threes. I mean, that's just where the game evolved. And when the rule changed, at the beginning, you could back down however long you want, and they put in the 5-second rule. Now we can play zone. And I think the game evolved more into like a European flow type 5-on-5, not as much iso ball anymore. So that's where the game went. And now every 4 and 5, you got to be able to run and shoot a little bit from 15 feet.
Well, ironically, if the 20-year-old version of you came into the league now, the first half of your career would have been more fun because, the first half of your career, slow down, defense, they finally had to change the rules, but you were like in year 8 or 9 when that happened. But nowadays, you'd come in, you'd probably have been a center.
Yeah,
you would have been an undersized 5 or whatever, and they just would have built a team around just running with you.
Probably. The good thing is, when I came in, we had Nelly as a coach.
Yeah.
And he was obviously an offensive genius, and he already put us in situations where I can succeed. Where my second year, I remember I dribbled up after a rebound and I hoisted a 3. I think no other coach at that point or at that time would have let a 7'4" guy would have let them do it. So
right.
I think I was fortunate. I was able to develop my skills and my game under Nelly, and he gave me all the freedom that I think if I would have come in another situation, they would have bulked me up more.
Right.
Probably put me in the weight room and put me more. It would
have been bad. Your body probably would have broken
down. Put me more back to the basket. So I think I owe old Nels a lot in that.
Last question. Obviously you're from Germany. The internet has changed how people follow basketball. Do you feel like everybody in Germany can probably follow like every single moment of your career now? That wasn't always the case in '98. Maybe they showed a couple games. That's it. You feel like more of a connection these days?
I was really surprised when we won it in 2011. I figured, some guys might get up at night and watch it, because we're 7 hours ahead in Germany from Dallas. So I figured some guys would show up, get up and watch it. But once I got home, it was like melee. Everybody knew me. I had parades in Germany. In my hometown, I had 20,000 people on the town square celebrating with me. So I never thought that the game of basketball or a person that doesn't play soccer can have that much hype in my home country.
Yeah. So
that was beautiful to see how people saw every year the struggle I went through and frustrated. Came home to Germany every year, was frustrated. And they enjoyed it so much for me, and that meant a lot to me. It made me really proud.
So they can watch all your games, right?
Actually, it's over the League Pass internet, so you can watch it, and and then you can actually connect it to the.
They can watch
TV.
this right now. They're probably
not. Probably not.
I would have said a question in German just to impress them.
Yeah, next time. We'll save it for next year.
Dirk, thank you. Always a pleasure. I'm glad you're still cranking along. It was fun seeing you in person a few weeks ago. You still got it. You're 16. Amazing.
I'm trying.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
In New Orleans here with Joakim Noah. Last time I saw you, we were lying in a bed together in an RV.
Yes.
This is much better, I feel like.
It was very strange.
In 2 hours.
Yes, it was very weird.
It was good. I actually enjoyed it. It was like we had an untaped podcast, lying in bed, killing time as these people were changing cameras and stuff.
Yeah, it was very awkward moments. I don't even know what to say about it.
I don't either. Let's never talk about it again.
Cool.
The season's been a little rocky.
Yeah.
But you guys are still, you guys will not go away. It just won't happen.
No.
They traded Dang. Looked like, all right, they're trying to get in the lottery this year. They gave up on the season, and then it seems like you and Tibbs and Taj Gibson and some of the other guys were like, no, actually, we're going to try to go for the 3 seed. Yeah. Did that trade make you mad?
It did, lose my brother. And, when Lou got traded, it was almost like I felt like we failed. You know, like we didn't have it. We didn't win the championship, and that was the goal together as a group. And I really wanted to, party with Lou after we won the championship. I was already there,
Yeah.
But it was tough. It was tough to see my brother go. He was definitely, the leader of our team and the big brother kind of. So that was hard, and Derek getting hurt, that was tough. But I think that the thing about this league is nobody cares. When you're down, other teams smell blood.
Right.
And the games just keep coming.
Yeah.
So we had to snap out of it pretty fast. And I think we're playing pretty good basketball right now.
It seems like that trade, well, you were hurt earlier in the year. You were a little banged up. Now you're healthy, right?
I feel great.
For the most part?
I feel
great. From that trade on, you looked like you again. And the team kind of took off, which probably would have happened if the trade doesn't happen either. But it did seem like it gave you guys an edge. I think did you feel like the front office was quitting on the team? What was your reaction?
No, I don't think so. And I think that, the ultimate goal is to win a championship, and we might not get there this year.
Right.
But I think that our mindset is we want to play in those big games. We're young. We got talent. But we want to play in those games and get experience. And then when it hits the fan and we have the guys, and then
you'll be ready.
We'll be ready.
Yeah. Dan goes to Cleveland. It's a mess there. And as you said, that's your brother. Have you talked to him? You feeling for him over there? That couldn't have been a worse situation to go to, it looks like.
Yeah, I think. I talked to him. But I don't think it's fair for me to, talk about, their organization and what's going on over there.
But you must feel bad that he's in that, goes from you guys are fighting family, to all of a sudden this situation. Now he's headed for the lottery.
I think losing will be all right. He's a great guy, one of the good guys in the NBA, tough competitor, and time will tell what happens for his future. And I think at the end of the day, he's put in enough work that people know, what he's all about. So I think he'll be just fine.
Maybe he'll get traded to a contender this week. Who knows? When we were hanging out, when we were filming that commercial, one of the things that I love talking to you. One of the things that you said I thought was really interesting was you talked about how much you loved Horford and playing with him, and you were like that's my dude. He went one way, I went the other way. We just always knew instinctively where to go. Now he gets hurt.
Yeah. It's tough, man. These injuries are no joke. A lot of guys are going down, and some of the best times of my life were with Horfy.
Yeah.
There's no better feeling than winning a championship, and I got to experience it at a young age at Florida with him. He was my roommate. And just on the court, we had unbelievable chemistry, He likes to go right. I like to go left. He likes to post up. I like to pass from the top of the key.
Right.
And then defensively, it was crazy. So, and then in college, we were kicking some serious ass.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say you have a little of that with Taj Gibson?
Yeah, Wu's a beast, and
especially the way he's playing lately.
Taj is a beast, and I'm really proud of him because he's a worker, and I think that he's a great leader on our team. Just coming in every day, working out with Mike Wilhelm, one of the coaches with the Bulls, and they're just putting in work every day. Even during the break right now, he's staying in Chicago just working on his game. I think he's hungrier than ever. And, I think that his development this year, he got so much better. And it's just going to he's a big piece of what we're trying to do.
And then, I mean, DJ Augustin basically saved your season. Who could have expected that?
That was big. And I think like when you talk about all these guys, you know, these are all guys who have a chip on their shoulder.
Right.
You know, been through a lot of adversity, and now they're here and they're hungry to prove something. DJ, you know, we wouldn't be in this situation, you know, 2 games over 500 with where we were without DJ.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'd be here right now if it wasn't for DJ. So shout out to the little homie.
What do you think Tibbs is doing right now? It's Friday, 11:45. What is he doing right now? Is he in some dark video room?
I hope not.
You know he is, though.
I hope not, but he probably is.
He's definitely not in Mexico, like on a little 3-day vacation on the beach.
He needs it.
Yeah.
He needs it, but, you know, at the end of the day.
How many hours a day do you think he works?
I mean, it's
over
all
18?
day. It's an all-day thing. I mean, you know, he's the first one in the gym, and you might come into the Berto Center at night, you know, to get some treatment or whatever, and you know he's in the office just doing something. It's a lot. I mean, at the end of the day, with him is he can be who he is because you know how much work he puts into it, and you have to respect that.
Well, that was funny when the Dang trade wasn't funny, but it was funny to me that people were writing you guys off because I was like, there's no way these guys are they're not going to give up the season. Like Tibbs is wired to coach a team that's a transition team for the lottery. That's not happening. Like I thought he was actually going to work harder. I'm sure he was like a maniac the next week or so. What's your favorite Tibbs story? Give me one.
My favorite Tibbs story.
If you had to describe him in one story, what would it be?
I used to train with him a lot in the summertime, so he was working me out in the summer at the Berto Center. And after a month of dealing with Tibbs every day, you know, always having him do extra drills, I told him, you know, Tibbs, if we weren't winning this many basketball games, I would really hate you. And he said, trust me, Joe, I feel the same way. So that's my favorite.
So you're like the odd couple.
Very, very odd.
How many years has it been now with him? 4?
Yeah, going 5. This is my 5th.
What do you feel the Chicago fans are thinking of this team right now? You feel like you're feeling the love? Because you guys are like the gritty band of underachievers now, or overachievers now.
You know, I think the people in the city are proud, but at the end of the day, you know, the goal isn't. It's all love and it's great. We have the best fans in the world, but the goal it's still to win a championship, and I know that the fans will be even happier when that happens. So, like I said, right now it's all about, you know, just getting better, keeping our mindset on progress, and you know, hopefully, you know, whenever that is, whenever the time comes, I know Derek's putting all his work, and we just got to keep getting better so that one day when our time comes, you know, we get that ring.
Hibbert was in here before you. I asked him if he hates Miami, if that team has to feel like they hate Miami, and he didn't think so. He just felt like they're in their way, they're going to try to beat them. It seems like you kind of work up some sort of hatred for the people that are in your way, these teams, right? Is that fair?
No doubt. You know, I train every summer. I train all year, you know, thinking about those guys. And, yeah, it's definitely not love. Everybody, they want what I want. I want a championship. And so I'm not going to be cool with guys who are in the way. It's just, I mean, I think hate is a strong word. I've used it. Used it before, but at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, it can't be love. I'll tell you that.
You didn't like my Celtics?
Nah.
That got a little rocky with us.
No, of course.
You were my least favorite player for a couple years until we shared an RV bed.
I thought we were going to talk about that.
It's on videotape. We taped it. Yeah, you and KG. Are you and KG ever going to be friendly? Is there a time 10 years from now where you run into each other and decide to get a cup of coffee?
I mean, KG was my favorite player growing up.
Until he turned on you.
Until we started competing. And he did turn on me.
He said mean things to you. He yelled at you. He used bad words.
Very bad.
He tried to get in your head, tried to intimidate you, and you came right back at him. I was impressed, even though I didn't like you because you were going against my team. But you stood right up to him the whole time.
Well, you know what? They got one.
Yep.
And I want that. So, like I said, but at the end of the day, he's a hell of a competitor. And I learned a lot from him over the years. And like even during that time when we were going at it every day, it's always good to learn from the OGs, the older guys, you know what I mean?
Right.
And even like these experiences, like being able to play in the All-Star game, to me, that's what it's all about. It's just, seeing the older guys and how their routines and everything. That's interesting to me.
Plus, you have the ultimate insult when the old guys come out. You just call them old man. It stings. Someday, it's going to happen to you in your late 30s. It'll be like you're 17. You'll be trying to antagonize some young guy.
Yeah, I don't.
The circle of the NBA life. Joakim Noah, thank you. It was fun. Good luck in the All-Star game. Good luck with the season.
Cheers.
I'm not ruling you out in round 2 against Indiana or Miami.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Could happen. Who knows?
It means a lot to me, man.
Who knows? I figured it would.
Yeah.
Here in New Orleans with Paul Millsap. Are you first? Is this first time All-Star?
First time.
That's ridiculous. You've been an underappreciated guy for years and years and years. It's nice that you're getting your due.
Oh, yeah, it feels great, man. It feels real good, especially being in my home state.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So, were you born here?
I was born, Louisiana.
So you're Louisiana, high school, college.
High school, college.
Then you go to Utah.
Then I went to Utah, yeah.
Big change. It's different than Louisiana.
Completely. Completely. Yeah, but great times, man, great times.
What was the biggest adjustment when all of a sudden you find yourself in Salt Lake City that first year?
The snow. I was not prepared for the snow. Sliding around, I didn't know what to think of it. But after years, you get used to it.
Who was on, what year were you drafted? I forget.
06.
Oh, so those were a couple good Utah teams. That's right, you made the conference finals that one year?
Yep.
Darren Williams. Darren Williams versus CP was the thing.
Yep. Carlos Boozer, Andre. Great team.
What is it? You and David West, for the last 5 years, have been the two guys in the league that, for whatever reason, you don't get your due. And even like last year in free agency, I thought for sure, you were going to be one of the marquee guys, and then you ended up in Atlanta. But why don't people? What is it about your game that people don't appreciate?
I think people are still a little skeptical of my 6'8" frame. I don't think people really understand that. I feel like the league is getting smaller.
Yeah.
Getting smaller, faster. And guys like myself, David West, at the 4 position is really taking off right now.
The Celtics have a guy like that, too, who's been playing better, Jared Sullinger.
Yeah.
And that's another guy. And people, because I've been telling people this weekend, oh, he's playing great. Sully's coming on. And they're like, man, he's too small. And it's like, just seems like enough of these types of guys have succeeded that we should stop thinking about that they're an inch too short, right?
Yeah, I don't get it. He had back in the day, you had Charles Barkley. He was 6'6", 6'5". He done great.
I think he might even be shorter than that.
Maybe, yeah. But how many guys got to come through the league for people to understand that it doesn't matter your size.
And you were second round, right?
Second round, yep.
At some point, it's going to happen. Maybe now that you're an all-star.
Also, I hope things turn around because there's a lot of guys out there who can play. At this size, that's really underlooked.
Can you explain to me how the Atlanta Hawks remained good after Al Horford went down for the season, and it just seemed like all right, we'll cross them off, and then you kept winning. I know you have a great coach, and you guys play well together. But how did you keep the train going?
Just staying focused at the task. We all have a goal that we're trying to reach. But overall, the main thing is just competing. We're a very competitive team,
We do it every day in practice. You know, we try to bring that same intensity onto the court, and we feel like it's transferred over.
Tell me about the coach. How would you describe him?
Enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic?
Yeah, very. That's the only word I can describe Coach Bud.
Right.
But he's a great coach. He's really into his X's and O's. You know, he breaks things down to the T, to the science of it, and you know, he makes it to where we understand. So.
Were you disappointed that Utah didn't keep the team they were building last year, and that they just let you and Big Al go? That was it. See you guys.
Disappointed. I wouldn't say disappointed. I say shocked, surprised a little bit. You know, but you know, things happen for a reason. They felt like they wanted to go a different direction, and who can blame them for that? You know, they got great talent there. But for me, you know, I'm excited where I'm at. I'm happy where I'm at.
It's interesting that you're thriving in Atlanta, and he's playing fantastic in Charlotte.
He is.
He's probably having the best season in his career.
Yeah, Al Jefferson is one of my good friends, but he's very underrated himself.
Have you ever laid in his 40-foot bed or no?
Actually, I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea, but I have.
you want to test it out?
I mean,
how many times you can have a friend with a 40-foot bed?
Exactly. Yeah, I want to see what that felt like. So, you know, lay down. You know, it's big enough, you know, to where we have arm space, so it wasn't nothing serious.
Do you think he brought that to Charlotte, or did the people who bought his house in Utah had to keep the 40-foot bed?
I don't know. I'm sure with that, I'm sure he took that with him. I'm sure.
I always root for him because he was in the Celtics. I'm a Celtic fan. We drafted him, and you could just see the talent. Like, he's one of those, you could spin him around 40 times and he'd still be able to make an 8-foot shot. Like, he's just one of those guys.
One-handed with a jumper.
Yeah. The ball goes in for him.
Yeah.
And he just had bad luck over and over again. Got hurt. You know, just could never get it going. Goes to Minnesota. Becomes, you know, on his way to making the All-Star team, blows out his knee, and just could never kind of get it going. So it's nice to see him.
Yeah, I'm very excited for him. You know, their team is actually doing really well, and excited to see what happens with him.
What's the biggest difference, Eastern Conference versus Western Conference, for you?
I think the two, they flip-flop. You know, I think the Eastern Conference now is more run and gun. You know, get up and down the court. You know, as far as, you know, West Coast, you know, smash mouth, you know, bang. Yeah, so I think the two are different.
In a way that's beneficial for you?
For me, yeah. I mean, you know, I took my course of pounding over the years in the West Coast, you know, so it's good to be in the East Coast now where I get up and down a little bit.
Who's the guy in the Western Conference that you miss the least?
At my position?
Yeah.
Kevin Love, I used to have to play him 4 times. You used to have to play LaMarcus Aldridge 4 times.
Oof.
Blake Griffin 4 times.
Marcus Aldridge is like 100 pounds heavier than you.
Right, and like 6 inches taller than me. So, but you know, playing with them guys every single night, playing against them, you know, it's brutal.
Blake.
You
don't want to end up on the YouTube clip on the other end of it.
Yeah, you don't want to.
It's in the back of your head the whole time.
It is, but I've been on that end of the stick.
Oh, have you?
I have.
Are you in it? What clip are you in, with Blake or with somebody else?
I'm in there with LeBron.
Oh, you're in a LeBron YouTube clip.
LeBron YouTube clip. Yeah.
What happened?
Try to be a team player. Took a charge. Didn't end well.
Jalen claims he's never been dunked on. He says you'll never find a clip of him dunked on because anytime it was about to happen, he scurried out of the way as fast as possible. Or ducked his head the other way so he wasn't in the poster.
Well, we can just say he wasn't playing hard enough.
I think he would admit that.
Right.
He's very proud of that, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always liked when the guy in Detroit, when he was on Detroit, Brandon Knight, DeAndre Jordan dunked on him, but he was trying to block it like it was a good, and then everybody made fun of him the next day. It's like,
it's a good hustle player.
That's cool. He's trying to block a 7-foot dunk.
Trying to win a game.
Right. What playoffs? Looks like you guys are going to be involved. Is there any chance Horford comes back, or is he just out?
I'm not sure. You know, we'll love to have him back. You know, I'm sure. But, you know, it's up to him and the doctors and see how they feel about it. But us, we'd love to have him back.
So basically you're texting him every day asking him how he's feeling.
Yeah, you know, he's still got his arm in a sling right now. Seen him at an appearance the other day. You know, when he comes in, he's like a ghost. So.
Right.
But, you know, just to see him, you know, he's still in good spirits. So hopefully he'll make it back.
Explain this Mike Scott to me, who all of a sudden has become, I think in January he was like 21 minutes a game, 14 points a game. Like, where did this guy come from?
Well, Mike Scott, he's a different guy. Very, very funny guy. But with him, he absorbs so much. He takes in so much. He comes every day trying to learn, trying to get better. He asks me a lot of questions every day. So, I love Mike, love him to death, and hopefully he do well, continue to do well.
Is it fair to say you guys have a lot of overachievers and guys who are counted out? Like that actually helps you in a weird way as a team?
If that gets us over the hump, yeah.
Right.
But we got a lot of guys who weren't able to showcase their talents. That's being put in a good situation right now to really showcase what they can do.
Is it true that when road teams come to Atlanta, they're always a little off there? If they come in the night before, they're always a little off.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird advantage, right? Jalen claims it's an advantage.
We try to use that as much as possible, especially at home. We try to run teams to death. Hopefully they went out and did whatever, but
you're recommending spots in Buckhead for them to go.
I recommend it. If they need any spots, I'm more than happy to show them where to go.
You probably didn't have that same advantage in Salt Lake City, I'm guessing.
We had a different advantage in Salt Lake City. The altitude was the killer out there, so we had an advantage.
How long did it take you to get used to the altitude?
You
never get used to it?
To this day, you never get used to it. I don't think so. You still see guys out there gasping for air. The altitude is just really serious. It's really serious.
All right, we have to go.
All right.
Paul Millsap, good luck in the All-Star game.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
At some point, you'll be properly appreciated. I look forward to that day.
Hopefully, yeah.
All right, good luck. Thank you.
No problem.
Target to sign off. Whoa.
Thank you for downloading the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Podcenter at ESPNradio.com.
Peace out.
Gotta say, Golick, great call on grabbing Subway for lunch and getting guacamole on our subs.
Told you this new guac really amps up the flavor.
Yep, something adding up things can be great. Guacamole on your sub, a new co-host to replace you.
What was that?
Oh, no, nothing.
Subway now has deliciously rich new guacamole made from ripe Hass avocados with just a hint of garlic, onion, and jalapeno. Discover how new guacamole turns up the flavor on any of your freshly made favorites. Subway, eat fresh.